long ass drive, but yeah. I haven't been here 5 minutes and I already want to fucking leave. It's where I'm at. I'd rather just like totally like abandon this, like everything. That's where I'm at. This place gives me so much freaking anxiety. I haven't gone to the front door yet. Lord knows I'm not staying here. Tomorrow I just gonna get everything from the living room area. I mean, not the living room area. From the other rooms, move to the living room. Yeah, but God. Yes, this place has given me a lot of anxiety. Just being here. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm not going in right now. I'm gonna miss this place a lot. I'm not gonna miss the shit that happened here, and I'm not gonna miss that person. I just know yeah. I haven't felt this uncomfortable in a while. I'm gonna miss the rooster. Let's see if I got some water in the truck for you. I know this little guy's thirsty. And I gotta see if maybe I can get a bucket or something from the neighbor to bring some water over. I've been hitting up different neighbors and such. Well, I've let different neighbors know that I've still got 3 roosters here that really do need some homes. Yes, there's a little water there. And although it's not a shit ton, it's something for Mr. Rooster. I love my birds. I just wish there was a way I could... Yeah. I wish there was a way I could transport them all, keep them all. Come here, Mr. Rooster. Because I know he needs some water and they need some love too. There you go, bud. There's some water there for you. I know it's been a while. Keep hoping the neighbor would swing by and drop some water off to you too. See, there's water there. Put that right in there. Yeah. I don't. This is the predicament that, you know, myself and all these animals realistically got put into also through all this bullshit. I just know once this is all done, over with, and gone, there will be a better home. There'll be a better start. All that. I just got to be done with this shit. The only thing I'm really needing to make sure is that somebody can adopt my birds. Otherwise, the next time I come down, I'm gonna try and transport them up. I just gotta make sure my neighbor knows to make sure that they've got water and stuff. And I'll have to probably send them some money to make sure they got some feed. They've got full range of even the garden, and in fact, I'm going to go ahead and open them up. I don't really like the idea of them. See, I worked really fucking hard on this shit, but I also know these birds need, like, sustenance. And right now, because of that person, I can't be here. And the fact that the place is being sold, or has been sold, yeah, at least in here, they'll have access to a lot of lettuce. Here. So we've got some lettuces, beans, a lot of rhubarb, tomatoes out over there. The onions they won't necessarily be able to get to. Yeah, we got a lot of greens over here. Plenty of pumpkin. Oh, shit, yeah. Cherries. I'm harvesting some fucking cherries. I get to at least get some cherries from this place. Fuck yeah. Out of the years I've lived here, I have not gotten to be able to harvest any cherries. This is the first fucking year. Heck yeah. Well, sorry, squirrel moment. I got excited over cherries. It's because I like growing stuff. I like working. I like being outside. I like being in gardens. I like being able to take photos of stuff. You know, like these things. It's just, yeah. Now I gotta figure out where to put down the gosh, there's so many cherries up here. Can't help it, I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'm gonna miss this, but you know what? I'm gonna at least harvest what I can from while I'm here. Oh, I'll let that one ripen up a little more. Probably come back tomorrow and snatch. Yes. And the little freaking critters that would eat some of these before we could even pluck any. So cool. This is why I like working with plants and stuff. You like every year you watch them. I mean, like the trees, you can like watch them like shed their leaves and all that stuff and look almost dead, and then every year like they come back with stuff that is yummy. This would be good for like strawberry jam and stuff for pie filling. Yeah, I'm getting excited like a little kid. Sorry, it's a squirrel moment for me and I like it. It's distracting. And I just keep telling myself it's gonna be alright. Because I've already made my decision where that person's concerned. They can tell me whatever the fuck they want. No. I'm not going there anymore. I don't know how many years of shit I went through, how much shit talking they fucking did, how many relationships they destroyed around me. I don't think there's much of anything they could say to me at this point to get me to think twice if they were to ever show up. I don't want them to. I'm so fucking short, I can't reach all these cherries up here. And there's a lot of cherries. Cherry Poppin' Daddies or some shit. I don't know why I'm thinking of the band right now. I know somebody else is thinking that too, right? That's seeing this, probably thinking Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Oh shit. Almost fell off this tire that I'm standing on. That was weird. It sounded like one of the doors or something inside the house. That was weird. There's so many damn cherries. I wasn't intending to come here to pick cherries, okay? And I wasn't intending to stand here and have you guys watch me pick cherries. I'm getting some kind of cherries, right? Fuck yeah. It's so cool. I'm just not tall enough to get those ones. Or those ones. Maybe. Okay. You get to help me hold this branch and keep my balance a little bit. I'm trying not to rip it down either. See my fat ass go, ripping this branch down. And is that all of them? No, that one. This is so cool. Isn't it weird? Just I come here full of anxiety, and it just takes finding some cherries on a tree to get excited and kind of change the mood a little bit. This is how I've always been. And some people can't understand how I can go from one moment I'd be angry, upset, or hurt about something, and the next moment I could be laughing and smiling. I try to take things by the moment. And at the same time, I tend to try to appreciate the world around me. I am definitely getting a photo of these. I've done it before. Aren't those cool? That's why I'm going to miss this place. A lot of curious things. Yes, I'm like a little kid in a lot of ways. So many ways. That's awesome, isn't it? Yeah, this is what it was like for me, just living here as is by myself all the time. I didn't have anybody to talk to. My neighbors talk to once in a while, but I get to a point that there was times there that we'd have to deal with. We'd just be sitting there shooting the shit. Next thing you know, there's that person standing in the trees just listening, and it's the dogs that give them away. But yeah. Oh yeah, check this out. This is my toilet lilies. I'm not going to be able to take them with me, but man, they're going to be awesome this year. And whoever gets the house next year, or whoever ends up getting the house, they're going to have some really nice, toilet lilies growing out here next year. And then with these plants, any of them that produce any like food and stuff that end up dropping in place, that's most likely just going to seed the ground and germinate there. So they might have some, more plants growing in from there. Like the tomato plants, it's going to be a definite. Of course, rhubarb's every freaking year. And then my onions. This thing's got huge. So I'm not sure when or what's ready. I don't think anything's ready yet. It might take a little while. Yeah. I mean, I got couple of bush blue lake beans right here that have grown. This thing kept getting water. If I was able to keep water, this thing would have been going nuts. I love gardening, and I would have had this thing going like crazy. It took me, let's just say from the time I got the house back at the end of 2019, so it would have been in 2020 when I first started on these gardens to get to this point. This would have been the greatest fucking year ever for the garden. And I've got to give up on it. Just everything. Like, I was giving it my all to make somebody else happy, and it was never good enough because they were too busy giving their all to other people and somebody else. And so it's like, I mean, I understand now why. I mean, I was so... I dealt with false advertisement in the beginning, I guess you could say. I don't know how else to put it. But I've moved on at this point. All of it is... Sorry, I'm picking my cherries up. Got quite a bit of cherries right here. I mean, it's not a shit ton. Not enough to make a full pie, maybe a tart or a mini pie. But there's still more up in the tree. I got a ladder, I might have to come out here a bit more. But I've moved on. I've just been focusing on the healing. Figuring out on my business that I'm starting. And then just kind of searching for a home, and then just trying to do the math, because a lot of it I think I've tried to explain it a couple times and never quite could. And that's, I can pay for the house and all that stuff, but after, like, let's say if I end up with a manufactured home or a house, depending on which, and then getting the business going, sorry, mosquitoes. My monthly payments, or whatever you call it, I'll be financially broke and wouldn't necessarily, like I was saying before, I wouldn't have enough to pay for, like, say, the electricity, the phone, not even the internet, that type of thing. I mean, yeah, things could very well go alright in the long run. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put my cherries. I think I'm going to use Mr. Bear's dog bowl. It's only used for water. But there. It's just trying to figure out that those little bits, is just making sure I got the income to cover those bits of the bills and being able to afford to keep fuel in my truck or my car, whichever. I am planning on getting a motorcycle, so that way it just makes it easier on gas when it's not raining or snowing necessarily. Raining, I'll learn how to ride in it. I just, even on a regular bicycle, I never cared for riding through the rain. But no, I already know what I'm gonna be doing. I've already made up my mind. It's just, I've got other hopes going on too, in a lot of ways, in so many ways. And, you know, like I've said before, I miss my family, and I'm hoping that there's at least some level I'm just hoping those amends are made, so that way I don't see things, like, you know, like really good friends that had moved away and then hang out all of a sudden like nothing happened. I don't expect that in this situation, because a lot of shit happened, you know, that brought out the worst in me, brought out the worst in them, just basically brought out the worst in everybody. And all I can do is try to correct my shit. I can't correct anybody else's. And that's, a lot of it's just learning how to cope with things better. And I've got to learn how to communicate better, especially when it comes to, like anytime I start getting overwhelmed or when something's bugging me, I got to figure out how to communicate it and not kind of sit and stew or process on it. It's okay to ask some, you know, like if you're with somebody, it's okay to ask them to help you kind of process or, you know, figure out what's going on in your mind. You know, if you're with someone, there's a reason why, you know, part of that is to be able to put enough trust in them to help you figure things out, not just try to do it by yourself in your head. You know, I do have some flaws that I've been trying to work on, and now that I know who I am better and more, I'm not having to bottle so much or mask so much. I'm slowly getting comfortable with myself again. Yeah, it's been a long drive, and I've had a lot of every time I do these drives, it burns me out, but then at the same time, I get almost too much time to think. A lot of times it can be bad. A lot of times it can be good. It just depends. And I just know coming here, it gives me anxiety. Like crazy anxiety. I mean, I can say one thing I'm definitely going to miss about out here is I can sit here and just kind of listen to how the wind moves through the trees. The other thing too is, well, the highway's right there, but I don't wait to see it. That big guy's gonna fly back around this way. They're usually like they're like little redheaded, you know, Pisakis. They like to circle back. And I think he is. Yeah, here. That's a lot closer than you think. Oh, he was around a tree. There. Oh, yeah. It's a lot closer than you think. That's actually right over my neighbor's house. Little condor. It's just a condor. I think they're pretty cool, but we've had some come in a little low when it came to my dogs out here, and same thing with some of the eagles. We actually, when the pond was full of water, we've had an eagle land and hang out on the edge of it and be drinking water and hanging out. And then we also had a couple of red-tailed hawks do that. I tell you, once you get, whoever buys this place, they get that fixed and get the water in there, so much fucking wildlife ends up showing up. It's really crazy and cool at the same time. You know, you get birds that normally you don't see up close. Of course, you start drawing in more of the squirrels, the chipmunks, you know, the nature's rodents, you know. But honestly, if I would have been able to keep this place, I would have been able to put my produce store and food cart right down there. You know, because the neighbors knew what I was trying to do. I was trying to start a produce store, because that's actually what they really need out here. We just got 2 gas station markets. And so that would have given the neighborhood like straight access to a bunch of fruits and veggies and stuff. But I had gathered up the pallets and all to just kind of build a basic, like, little old school shack looking, like, little mercantile type stall, like, store. I don't know how else to say it, but I was trying to keep it, you know, kind of fun, fitting for the area a little bit. But I would have been able to start out with just, you know, a limited small grouping of product and been able to go from there rather quick. But everything I had planned just went out the window. Everything. And it wasn't just for my benefit either. But the sale of the house is probably the most beneficial thing I've done. Keep checking the damn security camera, because for some reason it just seems like in a different position than I remember. But no, selling this house is going to allow me to actually get my food cart going. And then by doing that, I think that'll do better up north there, which will then help me be able to finance getting my little own produce store going. First goal, though, my first goal is to get a home, a regular home, a house after, let's say after I get this next place to live in and start my business. I'm not calling that permanent home. That's not a permanent home. I'm not going to sit and keep paying space rent if I have to. I mean, if I had other ways of financing towards getting that going, I would put a lot more down on a home and I'd actually be able to get a better home. It's just, I've got to take steps towards that. And I'm okay with that. I mean, food carts and trucks, they don't do too horrible, especially if you got the right, I guess you can call it niche, or niche. Excuse me again. But outside of like the NF and all, I do want to even start donating towards like places that help deal with both men and women, not just women, because men go through it too when it comes to domestic abuse and all that shit. There's some causes out there I actually want to donate to and actually provide to. I'm not looking to be super rich. I just want to do something that I enjoy and be able to have a home that I can enjoy, be able to, maybe take a vacation once in a while or live somewhere where it's like, I'm not looking for a mansion, but something like this where I can just go 5 minutes and I'm in the woods, I'm playing in the trees and all that stuff. Just want somewhere quiet to live like this, but I have the option to be able to go where I need to run my business. And I'd come home to something like this and focus on what's at home more. Even when I'm at work, I would that was the one thing when I worked, everything I was doing wasn't just for me. If I was gonna do anything just for me, I would have just, in all honesty, I would not have went back to work. I wouldn't have tried to go back to school. I wouldn't have done any of that shit at all. I already had somewhat of a survivable income at the time. It's just, I know I needed to do better, and at the same time, I deserve better than this in life, and I'm not trying to make that sound like prideful or egotistical. It's just, I've given so much to this, and in the end, it just turns into nothing. And so, like with this opportunity, I'm looking at it as this opportunity is now being turned into a better opportunity. So, I mean, I'm not giving up hope, and I'm not giving up faith. I know God's helping me out on this. I'm pretty darn sure of it. It's just the that build up. What's that called? That expecting build up, or the anticipation. The anticipation is like so heavy it can kill you, basically. So I mean, yeah, it's crazy. But I'm gonna get off here because I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna be going somewhere else to stay. I don't feel comfortable staying at this house anymore. I don't even feel safe here. I hope you guys enjoyed that and enjoyed the cherry picking and stuff too. kind of excited. I got to harvest more than just a radish. I got to pick some cherries out of my garden area. And my toilet lilies are looking awesome. That's pretty cool. So, yeah. I hope you guys have a good evening and a good night. And I'll post up to you later or whatever. I just know that, yeah, things are going to get better. I just got to get through this shit right here. I got to work through the depression. I'm still dealing with, that emotional roller coaster, but it's not so much over that person anymore. I've moved on from that. It still hurts. The damages from that, I just, what can I do? I think I hope people can just figure it out. So yeah. Anyways, have a good one. Late.